What if every successful person you admire is running the same invisible system in the background, and you've just never seen the blueprint? While most people collect random productivity tips and hope something sticks, the top 1% have cracked the code on systematic advantage creation. They don't just have good habits, they have interconnected systems where each component amplifies the others. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal this exact framework and show you how to build your own personal advantage engine that works 24/7, even when you're sleeping. Let's understand the fatal flaw and how most people chase success. Here's something that will shock you. The people working 80-hour weeks often earn less and achieve less than those working 40 hours. I've watched this pattern destroy careers for years. The hardest workers collect endless productivity hacks, jump from one success strategy to another, and push themselves to exhaustion while their results stay frustratingly average. Most people approach success like they're shopping at a buffet. They grab a time management technique here, a networking tip there, maybe some goal-setting advice from a podcast. They read every self-help book, follow every guru, and implement whatever sounds good in the moment. This scattered approach feels productive because you're always busy, always learning something new, always trying to improve. But here's the trap. This random collection of strategies creates a success ceiling that becomes impossible to break through. Every new tactic you add without connecting it to your existing efforts actually dilutes your overall effectiveness. You end up with a toolbox full of disconnected tools that don't amplify each other. Let me show you what I mean with a concrete example. Take two people starting their careers in marketing. Person A reads about personal branding and starts posting on LinkedIn. Then they learn about networking and attend industry events. Later, they discover online courses and start learning new skills. Each activity exists in isolation. Person B takes a different approach. They choose one specific niche in marketing, then use LinkedIn to share insights about that niche, attend events specifically to meet people in that same area, and take courses that deepen their expertise in that exact specialty. After 2 years, Person A has a scattered online presence, knows people from various industries, and possesses random skills across different areas. Person B has become known as the go-to expert in their chosen niche, has built relationships with key players in that space, and has developed deep expertise that compounds with every new skill they add. The difference comes down to how successful people think about their actions. Where most people see separate tasks, successful people see interconnected systems. They understand that every action should feed into and strengthen every other action. This creates what I call the compound effect principle. When your efforts connect and reinforce each other, small actions create exponential results over time. Your networking enhances your learning, which improves your execution, which gives you better feedback, which makes your networking more valuable. Each component becomes more powerful because of the others. Most people think linearly. They believe that if they work twice as hard, they'll get twice the results. But successful people think systematically. They know that the right combination of connected efforts can produce results that seem impossible to outsiders watching their seemingly modest daily actions. This linear thinking trap keeps most people stuck in mediocrity. They add more hours instead of adding more connections between their existing efforts. They focus on doing more things instead of making their current things work together in a way that creates compound advantages over time. The truth is that success operates on a completely different system than most people realize. There are exactly 4 components that, when properly connected, create what I call a personal advantage engine. These 4 pillars don't just add to each other, they multiply each other's effectiveness. Success isn't about doing more things, it's about making fewer things work together in a way that creates compound advantages over time. Now, let me show you the exact blueprint that top performers use to build these interconnected systems, starting with the 4 essential components that transform scattered efforts into systematic advantage creation. Every successful system in the world runs on exactly 4 interconnected components. Whether you're looking at Apple, Amazon, or any individual who seems to effortlessly outperform everyone around them, you'll find these same 4 pillars working together. They are focused learning, strategic networking, consistent execution, and iterative improvement. Here's what most people don't understand. Having 3 out of 4 pillars actually makes you worse off than having none at all. When you're missing one component, the other 3 create a false sense of progress that keeps you spinning your wheels. You feel like you're moving forward, but you're actually building a system with a fatal flaw that will eventually collapse under its own weight. The first pillar is focused learning, and it's completely different from the random skill acquisition that most people call education. Focused learning means you concentrate on the 20% of knowledge that will deliver 80% of your results. Instead of consuming every piece of information that crosses your path, you ruthlessly filter everything through one question. Does this directly advance my specific objectives? Let's say you want to become a software developer. Random learning would involve reading general computer science books, taking broad programming courses, and following every tech blog you can find. Focused learning means you identify the exact programming languages and frameworks used by companies you want to work for, then master those specific tools while ignoring everything else. The focused learner becomes employable in 6 months, while the random learner is still collecting certificates after 2 years. Strategic networking operates on what I call the compound connection principle. Regular networking involves meeting as many people as possible and hoping something good happens. Strategic networking means you identify individuals who possess the exact knowledge, skills, or resources that can accelerate your progress. Then you build genuine relationships with those specific people. Each strategic connection opens doors to multiple opportunities that wouldn't exist otherwise. When you help a mentor solve a problem, they introduce you to their network. When you provide value to someone in your industry, they think of you when relevant opportunities arise. Your network starts working for you, even when you're not actively networking. Consistent execution creates maximum leverage with minimum effort through 3 core principles. First, you eliminate everything that doesn't directly contribute to your objectives. Second, you batch similar tasks to reduce context switching. And third, you protect your peak energy hours for your most important work. The best executors accomplish more in 4 focused hours than most people do in 12 scattered ones. Iterative improvement acts as the multiplier that accelerates all other components. You build feedback loops that automatically show you what's working and what's not. You track specific metrics that indicate real progress, not vanity numbers that make you feel good but don't drive results. You review your system weekly and make small adjustments that compound over time. Here's where the magic happens. These 4 pillars feed into each other to create exponential growth. Your focused learning makes your networking more valuable because you can contribute meaningful insights to conversations. Your strategic connections give you access to better learning opportunities and insider knowledge. Your consistent execution turns your learning and networking into tangible results. Your iterative improvement refines all 3 other pillars, making them more effective with each cycle.
When these pillars work together, they create advantages that seem impossible to outsiders. People wonder how you seem to know exactly what to learn, how you always meet the right people, and how your projects always succeed while theirs struggle. Now I'm going to show you the specific tactics for building each of these systems, starting with the learning and networking frameworks that top performers use to accelerate their progress beyond what most people think possible. Top performers learn 10 times faster than everyone else because they've discovered something that most people never figure out: the difference between consuming information and acquiring capability. While others collect facts, successful people build systems that turn knowledge into immediate competitive advantage. The focused learning framework starts with reverse engineering exactly what you need to know. Instead of studying everything related to your field, you identify the specific outcomes you want to achieve, then work backwards to find the precise knowledge and skills required. This eliminates the academic trap that keeps most people studying subjects they'll never use, while missing the practical skills that would transform their results immediately. Most people's learning approach actually makes them less competent over time because they mistake information consumption for skill development. They read dozens of books, take multiple courses, and attend countless seminars without ever applying what they learn. This creates an illusion of progress while building no real capability. The knowledge sits in their head like unused inventory, taking up mental space without producing any return. The 80-20 principle applied to skill development changes everything. In any field, 20% of the knowledge produces 80% of the results. For a sales professional, this might mean mastering objection handling and closing techniques while ignoring general relationship-building theory. For a programmer, it could mean becoming expert at debugging and optimization while skipping computer science fundamentals that sound impressive but don't affect daily performance. Here's a concrete example. Two people want to become data analysts. Person A takes comprehensive statistics courses, learns multiple programming languages, and studies various database systems. Person B identifies that most data analysis jobs require SQL, Excel, and Python for data visualization, then masters these three tools completely. Person B gets hired while Person A is still working through theoretical coursework. The strategic networking matrix transforms relationships into compound advantages by focusing on three types of connections: mentors who can accelerate your learning, peers who can collaborate on projects, and juniors who can extend your capacity. Each relationship type serves a different purpose, and you approach them with specific value propositions. Identifying people who can accelerate your progress exponentially requires research and strategy. You look for individuals who have already achieved what you want to accomplish, then find ways to provide value to them before asking for anything in return. This might mean solving a problem they're facing, introducing them to someone useful, or sharing insights from your unique perspective. The networking habits that create long-term value without feeling transactional center on genuine relationship building. You focus on learning about people's challenges and finding ways to help them succeed. You share resources, make introductions, and offer assistance without keeping score. This approach builds trust and reciprocity that pays dividends for years to come. Learning and networking feed into each other to create knowledge multiplication. Your network gives you access to insider information and practical insights that you can't find in books or courses. Your learning makes you more valuable to your network because you can contribute meaningful insights to conversations and solve problems that others can't. The specific system for implementing learning advantages starts with choosing one primary skill to develop, then finding the 3 people who represent the highest level of achievement in that area. You create a learning plan focused solely on capabilities that will produce measurable results within 90 days. For networking advantages, you identify 10 people whose knowledge or connections could accelerate your progress, then develop a value-first approach for each relationship. You track your interactions and look for ways to deepen these connections over time. These systems create the foundation, but they're useless without the execution component that transforms planning into measurable results. Unveil the methods of execution systems and feedback loops that never fail. The best executors actually do less, not more. While everyone else fills their calendar with endless tasks and meetings, top performers ruthlessly eliminate everything except the activities that produce measurable results. They understand that being busy and being productive are completely different things, and most people confuse motion with progress. The execution habits that create maximum impact with minimum effort center on 3 core principles that separate high achievers from perpetually busy people. First, they protect their peak energy hours for their most important work. Instead of checking email first thing in the morning or taking random meetings throughout the day, they block out their sharpest mental hours for tasks that directly advance their objectives. Second, they batch similar activities together to eliminate context switching. Rather than jumping between different types of work throughout the day, they group all their calls together, handle all their administrative tasks in one block, and dedicate uninterrupted time to deep work. They say no to everything that doesn't serve their primary goals, regardless of how good the opportunity sounds. Most productivity advice actually decreases your competitive advantage because it focuses on doing more things efficiently instead of doing fewer things effectively. The typical productivity guru tells you to optimize your email management, use better calendar systems, and implement complex task management workflows. This advice assumes that all your current activities are worth doing, which is almost never true. The real breakthrough comes from eliminating entire categories of work that don't contribute to your core objectives. These 3 execution principles create compound advantages over time. When you consistently work during your peak hours, your output quality improves dramatically. When you batch similar tasks, you reduce the mental fatigue that comes from constant context switching. And when you ruthlessly eliminate non-essential activities, you create space for the high-impact work that actually moves you forward. Building feedback loops that automatically course-correct your system requires tracking specific metrics that indicate real progress towards your goals. Most people track vanity metrics that make them feel productive but don't correlate with actual results. They track how many books they read instead of measuring how much their knowledge improved their performance. They track how many people they met instead of measuring how many meaningful relationships they built. The iterative improvement process compounds your advantages through consistent weekly reviews where you examine what worked, what didn't, and what needs adjustment. This isn't about perfect execution. It's about systematic learning and adaptation. You review your time allocation, assess your energy levels throughout the week, and identify the activities that produced the highest return on investment. Measuring what matters means focusing on leading indicators that predict future success rather than lagging indicators that only show what already happened. If your goal is to increase revenue, you track the number of qualified prospects you contact each week, not just the deals you close each month. If you want to improve your skills, you measure the time spent in deliberate practice, not just the credentials you accumulate. Execution and feedback loops create a self-improving system that works without constant attention, because the metrics automatically reveal what needs adjustment. When your weekly review shows that certain activities consistently produce poor results, you eliminate them. When specific approaches generate exceptional outcomes, you allocate more resources to them. The system becomes smarter over time without requiring additional effort from you. The specific framework for setting up feedback loops involves choosing 3 metrics that directly predict your success, reviewing these numbers weekly, and making one small adjustment based on what the data reveals. This creates continuous improvement that compounds exponentially as each refinement makes the entire system more effective. Now let me show you how to integrate all 4 components into one cohesive advantage engine that amplifies each pillar while requiring less maintenance over time. Here's your 30-day activation plan that transforms all 4 components into one working system. Most people fail because they try to implement everything at once, then abandon their efforts when progress feels slow. The secret is building one pillar at a time while connecting each new component to what you've already established. Integration happens through sequencing, not simultaneous implementation. Week 1 focuses entirely on focused learning. Choose one specific skill that will produce measurable results within 90 days, then dedicate 1 hour each morning to developing that capability. Week 2 adds strategic networking by identifying 3 people whose knowledge could accelerate your progress. Week 3 introduces consistent execution by eliminating non-essential activities and protecting your peak energy hours. Week 4 completes the system with iterative improvement through weekly reviews and metric tracking. The most common mistake is expecting immediate results from systematic changes.
People abandon their systems after 2 weeks because they don't see dramatic improvements yet. Systems work through compound effects that become visible after consistent application over months, not days. Another fatal error involves perfectionism. People wait for ideal conditions to start or quit when they miss a single day. The system only works when you maintain it imperfectly but consistently. Implementation follows a specific sequence that prevents overwhelm while building momentum. Day 1 through day 7, establish your learning routine by blocking 1 hour each morning for skill development. Choose your peak energy period and make this time non-negotiable. Days 8 through 14, add 1 networking action per day. This might mean sending 1 valuable message to someone in your field or sharing 1 insight on professional platforms. Days 15 through 21, eliminate 1 non-essential activity each day while batching similar tasks together. Days 22 through 30, implement weekly reviews where you track your progress and make small adjustments. Progress tracking during the critical first 90 days requires measuring leading indicators, not vanity metrics. Track time spent in focused learning sessions, number of meaningful professional interactions, and percentage of time allocated to high-impact activities. Maintain momentum by celebrating small wins and adjusting your approach based on what the data reveals about your patterns and preferences. Warning signs that indicate your system needs adjustment include declining energy levels, reduced motivation, or stagnating results after 30 days of consistent application. These symptoms usually mean you're trying to do too much at once or focusing on activities that don't align with your primary objectives. The solution involves simplifying your approach and concentrating on fewer activities with higher impact. Scaling your advantage engine begins when your initial systems produce measurable results. Add complexity gradually by expanding your learning focus to complementary skills, growing your network strategically, and increasing your execution capacity through delegation or automation. Each expansion should multiply your existing advantages rather than diluting your focus. The system becomes self-sustaining because feedback loops automatically guide your decisions. Your network starts providing opportunities without active solicitation. Your learning compounds as each new skill builds on previous knowledge. Your execution improves as you eliminate activities that don't produce results. Your weekly reviews reveal optimization opportunities that require less effort while producing better outcomes. The complete blueprint involves morning learning sessions, strategic relationship building, ruthless priority management, and systematic improvement through data-driven adjustments. Each component strengthens the others while requiring less conscious effort as habits solidify. This creates exponential advantages that compound over time, generating results that seem impossible to people using random approaches instead of systematic advantage creation. Your advantage engine becomes more powerful the longer it runs, creating an insurmountable gap between you and those using random approaches. While others jump between strategies and wonder why their results stay flat, your systematic approach compounds every day. Each week of focused learning builds on the previous week. Each strategic relationship strengthens your entire network. Each execution cycle refines your entire system. You now face a choice: continue collecting random tips and hoping something works, or build systematic advantage that compounds over time. Start with 1 component today. Choose your first learning focus, identify your first strategic connection, eliminate your first non-essential activity, or set up your first feedback loop. Small systematic actions compound into extraordinary results. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Also, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Remember to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Until next time, take care and see you in the next video.